Hi there guys, I just want to quickly say something before I get into the way of this video, is that the ending of this, for some reason on Untitled War 2, differs from the actual ending in the battle. So you'll see some units stood around that aren't really doing anything, they're not actually supposed to be there, and it was a different ending altogether. But enjoy the video nonetheless, guys. Hi there guys, what's going on? My name is JellyBellyJoe, and today we are back with a Untitled War 2 battle. Now this is a replay, just played this battle with my friend, thought I'd do a commentary over it. It's absolutely a fantastic battle in my opinion, it really comes down close towards the end, and we both, well, me especially make a stupid move, but you'll see that later in the battle as we go through. So straight off in the battle, this is me you're looking at right now, and I was playing as the Seleucid Empire. Now, a bit different, I know, I don't usually play as the Seleucids. In fact, usually Rome is my way to go when I play online battles, but that's because they are quite OP, and I'm good at exploiting the tactics. They're quite simple tactics, just camp, if you will, and use the formations, etc, to your advantage. But this time I decided to go something a bit different and use phalanx. Now, phalanx for me are something which I really don't like. For me, although they're really effective, don't get me wrong, that's probably the reason why I don't like them, to be honest. I generally just don't go factions with them in a lot, such as Macedon and Sparta and stuff. I know a lot of people choose Sparta, that's what my opponent was today, was Sparta, and that's a very common faction for people to go. So let me take you through my unit choices regardless. So at the back here, starting off with my general units, we have some Hellenic cataphracts. Very powerful cavalry, you'll see them come into play quite a lot in the battle actually. Use them heavily, very important unit. Now, the Agema cavalry, if that's what they called it, Agema. Wasted these in the battle, you'll see my stupid move in a little while. But yes, those are my cavalry units for this battle. Now we have 3 Silver Shield Pikemen units, all with 120 strong, very nice units indeed, some of the best pikemen in the game, in my opinion. We have 4 groups of Silver Shield Swordsmen, and we have 4 groups of Syrian Heavy Archers. And the Heavy Archers had a slight range advantage over his units, but without further ado, let's go over here and have a look on to his units that he's got rolling. So, over here we have some Spartan Pikemen. He only has 2 groups of those, but he does have a lot of spearmen around him. He's got 2 groups on his right side, from where I'm looking at it. Royal Spartans. On the other side he has more Royal Spartans, and at the back here he's got Heroes of Sparta. That's all along apart from. So 2 groups of Heroes of Sparta and 6 groups altogether of Royal Spartans. So a lot of infantry there for me to counter, and I could tell already just by looking at the amount of units he has compared to me that he did have a hell of a lot more units than I did. I think 300 more or something along the lines of that. But yeah, he did have a lot more units than me, especially in infantry wise. So I knew from the start of the battle it was going to be quite difficult to win, especially when I use my cavalry in a stupid way. And he got archers, he has 3 groups of those. Mine slightly outrange his with 150 range, his to 125, so I had the slight advantage there. And the cavalry has 3 groups of citizen cavalry and some Tarentine cavalry. Ranged cavalry comes in quite useful for him, however pretty ineffective in the way he uses it that gets them killed, but you'll see that later on in the battle. Now, as this battle commences, what you'll probably see is Lever is going to try and advance on me here because he's got the most units. I fall my units back, as you just saw at the beginning of the video, onto this hill. Now I thought, using the best advantage of the terrain, now this map was a bit boring, there wasn't really much to it. To be honest, it looked quite plainy, nothing going on as such. It was one of those randomly generated maps. This was like one of the only hilly parts on the map. I have some trees over there, but I decided not to use them for this battle. I just had my cavalry sat at the back because when I'm facing spearmen, I thought it'd be better to have my cavalry close nearby where they can react quickly. Especially as his cavalry outnumbered mine, so did his infantry quite heavily. And then he makes quite a good strategical move. Now what we'll do is we'll fast forward a bit with the loss of some FPS. Okay. So, right now, running through my mind at this point is, okay, I'm heavily outnumbered here. I've got my men set out how I want them to set out, but depending on what he does depends on how this battle really goes. Now, I was kind of hoping that he'd send the bulk of his pikemen straight at mine. Mine would completely outdo his, giving me the advantage there of getting rid of his pikemen straight away. But, alas, I was playing my friend Levero, and he is far too clever to do something so, you know, so silly as that. So, he decided that he split off his units in either direction, leaving his main pikeman force in the middle. Now, I gotta give it to him, this was one of the best tactics I've seen against me, and this is probably the reason for the outcome of the battle as a whole. Is he splits his units off left and to right, pretty even unit switch, leaves some Royal Spartans, his general unit there in the middle with his pikemen along with some archers. But then he basically splits his units in half, leaving the main punching force of his, the main punching bulk of his force right in the centre, while splitting off his infantry and one group of archers on either side. He then separates his cavalry as well, so he's got an even force going to both sides of my army. Now, as you've noticed, I probably gambled on him coming straight at my pikemen, and alas, he was not going to do it. So, on either side, I had one group of cavalry. On either side, two groups of swordsmen and two groups of archers to hold off an entire mini-army each direction, which was not going to work by any stretch of my imagination. So let's fast forward a bit here, we can get going a bit. So he moves it, as you can see, and he moves it quite far round to the flank. Now, I was trying to scare him with moving his soldiers back into the centre here by charging my cavalry down the centre. I wasn't actually going to charge. But as you can see, I was trying to, intimidate him to bring his units back, but that really didn't work. It did kind of, but he didn't really fall for it, so that whole plan kind of got soiled in its tracks, to be honest. But I was struggling of what to do here. As you can see, I wasn't really moving many of my men around at all. I was kind of like, right, okay, I don't know what to do. He's kind of closing in on either side, and I need to come up with a tactic. So I decided that I split my units of what I've got off on either side, and set my cavalry up here. Now, this was my stupid move with my cavalry. Extremely stupid move, to be honest with you. I decided to send my cavalry around. He was trying to reposition his pikemen, but I was causing chaos in the middle, and then I charged straight through his general. Now I thought if I could gain the morale advantage here by taking out his general with one swift charge with his shot cavalry, it would give me an extinct advantage. However, as you can see, he caught me up with his cavalry, and I just got completely swamped. There was far too many of them. My cavalry already injured by the time they got out of here, and they were quickly routed off and killed, especially in combat because they're shot cavalry. But his general unit was not killed. Well, his general specifically was not killed, so that plan whole failed, and now I was two cavalry units down in the middle of this battle. So, defending the hill with a lot less men than what he had, and I'll just slow this down because this is where the action starts getting a bit prevalent here. We've got my archers trying to do as much damage as possible. He's trying to scare them off with cavalry and all sorts, which is making it very awkward for me to lay down fire on his advancing Royal Spartans. My silver shield swordsman, here. He wasn't really making much moves on this side. It took him a bit longer to get here on this side than it did here. He's trying to move them up in the middle as well, all at the same time. So he's basically sandwiching me, which wasn't very nice of him, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a mean. But here's my Hellenic cataphracts. Now these come into play a hell of a lot, and they probably get a hell of a lot of kills as well during this battle. I didn't really look at the end. We were too busy congratulating each other. As you can see here, we get into combat straight away. Now, I know against Royal Spartans it's going to be a very close battle, or I'm going to lose. And he tries to charge me here with some cavalry, but my cataphracts come in there and save the day. Now, cataphracts are very good, and they take out the citizen cavalry like they're nothing, along with this group of citizen cavalry that tries to snake around. I managed to pull them into combat and kill both of them. So that's two groups of his cavalry down pretty much in one with the help of the heavy archers. You see, I peeled off one of my groups of pikemen there to come and help, because he's stationed his. Now, I was expecting him to bring them straight into my pikemen, which would have really screwed me over a lot more. I wasn't really paying attention to this side, and as you can see, smashes my lines there, and we get into combat. Now, I don't get the charge advantage or anything here, and he just charged me with some much better units. Well, when I don't get the charge, etc., etc., and he completely just takes me out without me even noticing, pretty much. But over this side, things are looking up. I've got my Hellenic cataphracts running around the back of the battlefield, taking out his archers, being chased by some heroes of Sparta. He chases me around the battlefield with those things for most of the game. As you can see here, we've got some Terratine cavalry that try and come in, and, well, they pretty much succeed in taking out one of my groups of archers. Then I shoot them to pieces of my own. And at the moment, my cataphracts are still running around down there. As you can see, we start to turn the tide of battle in this little group here. Now, that is quite a decisive move. It's quite important. I decided to move my phalanx around here so that when these guys fall and take out as many as they possibly can, as you can see, they haven't really took out many, then I can face them off with some pikes. Now, pikes in that situation would have been fantastic. If they would have charged straight up at the hill at me, I probably would have killed hundreds of his men as they charged into the pikes. As you can see here, I made a very good move, in my opinion, into the back of his Royal Spartans with my cataphracts. They completely destroy his line, and my thorax swordsmen just wrap it up. Now, the Terratine citizen cavalry just get absolutely murked here. Doesn't take them very long at all to get wavered. Now, I see some pikemen coming in. Here's a problem, but that time, though, I managed to get most of my pikemen in order, and he says, oh crap, run away. Silver Shield Pikemen are not to be messed with in this game, apparently. So down here, everything's finished stalemate. He's thinking about what to do. I'm thinking about what to do. Starts moving his men around because they're being absolutely hailed by arrows at this point. And he tries to do the same move on me. But I change my archers into melee mode and end up charging his Tarantine cavalry. And they end up the cavalry end up losing, which is surprising to say the least. As you can see here, he flanks my phalanx around, but I've got some more coming in the backup. He tries to cut me off there as this phalanx group goes up and engages this one. Now, as you'll see, I'm not sure who wins this one. I wasn't really paying attention. But my cataphracts, as you can see, still weaving around the battlefield, trying to take out the enemy from behind as much as humanly possible. Now, as you can see, the cataphracts, ba-bang, ba-bang, take out half his line. A very successful charge. So, they really did come into play a hell of a lot during this battle, the cataphracts. It really was a unit that was extremely useful. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to break his lines down, and there would have been a lot more difficulty. So for the last few minutes of this battle, 5 minutes, we'll slow it down so we get the full length here, and combat immersion. But my Syrian archers all the while are still firing arrows into this abyss, and nearly gets my thorax swordsman there. Managed to pull him back round. Now at this point I'm thinking, okay, as far as I'm aware, my general in specifically, has just died. The cataphracts, there's not many of them left, and it's going to be difficult to do anything with 9 of them. However, they can still be powerful if they're used in the right way. But by this time, Lever had kind of catch on to the fact that the cataphracts were causing more damage than any other unit on the battlefield, and it ended up with my cataphracts routing quite swiftly as they got a bit scared and ran home. Syrian archers firing and shooting all the while long. This is, you know, my main bulk of my force was here now, and this was those pikemen, and that's pretty much all I had left. So this really was getting down to the bare minimum in the battle here. I'm running out of units. He's got the tactical advantage in general. As you can see here, though, we go for some Spartan Pikemen with my thorax because he's really concentrating to have the pikes out. But I'm not sure who win this. I think my thorax swordsman were to win this until he brings in more infantry. I think the main reason that I lost this battle more than anything was not, although my stupid move with my cavalry, I think the number of infantry units he has compared to me allowed him to maneuver his units a lot more easily and effectively. And as you can see here, my thorax swordsman do a good job at actually combating both of those units there, along with some Syrian archers to help out. Always there, just sat in the corner of the map helping out. So that was a mild success over here. Whilst that's going on, we're having a very intense battle over here with our pikemen. We'll slow it down a bit. There we go. As you can see, I barely got any units left. Really running out of units now. Pikes down. Trying to really hold off this last few units, and it's really not going my way, to be quite honest with you. So as it comes into the last moments of the battle here, we have a few pikemen available, really not many at all. Some archers still laying down fire on the enemy. But all in all, the hill has pretty much fallen. I have some thorax swordsmen down here. Some silver. I need to stop saying thorax. But I don't know if I use them again in the battle, because I think it gets to a point where they rout or something along the lines of that. Now it does come down to a significant part in the battle here, which is where I believe I have 2 groups of, I think it's pikemen. Hold on a minute. How does that work then? Bit strange. Yeah, the battle itself turns somewhat not in my favour, to be honest, and there becomes little to nothing which I can do about it. And as you can see, men quickly get killed there. Not really much I could do about that. So all I have down here is these units stood here, which in the actual battle weren't actually there. And the replay, for some reason, didn't show the big epic final standoff on the hill. Don't know why that was, but it didn't. In fact, the battle kind of played out a little bit differently to what it actually did, which is a bit strange. I don't really know why it just... Well, that's a bit weird. I don't know why it's just done that. Okay, I'll explain what actually happened then, because in the fact, for some reason, it seems to have not want to show it. I'm confused. Is there something I have to press? No? Okay. These guys weren't here. Archers were all dead, or routed. And these, up here, I had 2 groups of pikemen left. Now, these pikemen We're back to back against 1, 2, 3, 4, all surrounded, and ended up just being a one final crunch in the centre of the hill. Why the battle did not want to show that, I do not know, but the replay seems to be different from the battle. I don't know why that is, but it is. And trust me on that, guys, because I've only just played the battle, so I would know. So, bit of a different ending. Not the best ending. There was actually a much better ending than that. But I'm not sure why it's played out differently. That's obviously Rome Total War 2. Not doing what it's supposed to do and replaying the moves properly. But, alas, that is pretty much what happened today in the battle against my friend Levero. A good close battle. I end up losing the battle, though. As he has many units left and all these are dead. So ignore these units. They are not there. Okay. So it was a costly enemy defeat is what it actually was. So there we go. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary over this battle. I know it wasn't, well, it's not what I was expecting anyway towards the end. But hey ho, it's what happened. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. Until then, I will see you guys in a bit.